So for anyone that's listening, that's going back to LEA and REDS, low energy availability, and they might be thinking, okay, well, maybe this does apply to me. Like, hopefully, I think it's
Mhm.
something that everyone listening to this will reflect on. But how do I know, outside of, we talked about amenorrhea, we talked about, like different things related to that. What are some other signs that this may or may not be something to consider as something that might be affecting you right now?
Yeah, I mean, if I go back to the signs and symptoms I started to notice the quickest, I mean, this is when I was in college, but still, like, I'm still a menstruating female. Like, my period became irregular. It didn't leave completely. My cycles became actually a lot shorter, and some people, their cycles might get longer. So if you start to notice those disruptions in yourself, maybe talk to somebody about that. Maybe talk to your coach, because I mean that would be actually a good thing for a personal trainer to have on an intake form. Tell me about your menstrual history. And for male athletes, I would actually, this is kind of sensitive, but discuss libido. Like the overall libido and if there's any changes in that. Another really subtle sign is actually not sleeping through the night. Like when people wake up at night hungry, that could be a sign they're
Okay.
not eating enough throughout the day. I see that with clients of all different kinds of activity levels and training levels. Um, Another thing too is if injuries are taking a long time to heal, if they're recurring, if they have a lot of, I would say, like I had shin splints often, and I wasn't a runner. I tried to help you. I was not a runner, and I had a lot of foot
Wow.
problems, foot pain, hip
Yeah.
pain. Now, to be fair, I was a catcher. I was a softball catcher, but still, like, and then another big one that I see, because you and I live in the West, circulation issues and
Huh.
LDL being really high. People are like, high? Yeah. I'm like,
Hmm.
yes, because what happens is if the body is not getting enough overall dietary fat and enough calories, then it actually signals to the body to start releasing cholesterol into the blood to be used for energy. That sounds good, but it's not. Like, you don't want
Right.
that to happen,
Yeah.
especially, chronically. So when college, if we go back to kind of how I looked, like my coach was like, "Yeah, you look good in the uniform." She actually said that to me at one point, but my blood work was all off. Like my cholesterol was high. I think my blood pressure was fine, but my heart rate started to trend down as well. So you'll
Oh,
notice, like,
wow.
if their blood pressure is low, their heart rate is low, their cholesterol is high, they get cold really easily, or they get numb, or they notice tingling in their extremities, those kinds of things. Those are signs as well. So, and those are ones that I feel like people are less likely to pick up on, but that happens to a variety of people. I just saw actually a physical therapist here who's in her 30s, who frankly, like, I've noticed some things on social media, but I'm like, not my client, not my client, don't say anything. But she's like, why am I developing Raynaud's in my 30s? I'm like, I don't know. Actually, I do know, but I can't, like, again. And like that's something I still struggle with. I was telling people the two health consequences for myself that have not been 100% reversible from an eating disorder, from relative energy deficiency in sport. It's the bone health. Like, I still, my bone marrow density is better. It's actually normal, but the quality and like kind of the curvature of my bones has been impacted. And then also, I haven't fully recovered from the circulatory damage. So I would ask really good questions about that one, because a lot of people think, oh, I have a low heart rate, it just means I'm active. I'm like, potentially, but if it continues to trend down on top of your cholesterol going up, you actually don't
Mm,
have an athlete's heart, you have a starving heart.
yeah. Yeah. Other things are going on. Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like, okay, if one thing happens, it's like, okay, maybe something might be there, maybe, maybe not. But if you see multiple things, it's like,
Yeah.
should
If they start to
probably,
tack on, yeah, they're
yeah.
not isolated. They're usually, that's where it's like it is a syndrome. And the more things you have in that syndrome, it's usually like you're not eating enough food.